Good evening, Warhammer YouTubers. I thought I'd simply throw this offer out to anyone in the community that might be interested. It's nothing too exceptionally exciting in this video. I'm going to be talking about bases on the models. So it's amazing stuff. And now that I have your undivided attention, I just wanted to say, a few weeks ago I posted a video about whether or not I would rebase my models for Age of Sigmar. And since that time, I've decided to just go ahead and do it. There's some units that have more priority over others. I'm only going to rebase them as I paint them. But I've started with my Beastmen and the Wood Elves I'm doing for the budget of Sigmar. They're being rebased on rounds. Now, there's nothing in the rules that says you have to do that. I just think that if you're playing a skirmish game, round bases look nice. If you're playing a rank and file game, square bases look nice. And because I'm probably going to focus more on Age of Sigmar than maybe 8th or 9th, that's kind of my preference. So that's just kind of, I think they just look nicer if you're playing a skirmish game. So it's kind of a big project. There's a lot to do. I have a lot of models. Good thing is that most of them aren't painted, so I'm not destroying my the bases as I go, as I switch them out. So it should be a pretty clean kind of switch. But it'll be a project that'll take, probably over the next year or two to kind of go through all the armies and do it up. And as I said, as I begin a new project, I'll rebase them as I go. But I'm in need of bases. I'm looking. I know that there are cheaper alternatives out there, but I would prefer to get GW bases simply because the uniform look of the army will be complete that way. And my model collection is all Games Workshop models, so I don't have any other ranges mixed in. So I just like, for the look of ensuring that the armies are all uniform, I like to have all the same type of bases. Now, the price of Games Workshop bases is not cheap. I just did an order from Games Workshop, and I bought one small model and then a bunch of bases, and that works for maybe half of an army, but I don't want to do that for all of them. I'll do it if I need to base one or two things, but what I'm looking for, maybe just something that I was thinking about, is maybe doing an exchange program or something like that. Now, if someone has a ton of round bases that they want to offer to me for fairly cheap, I will definitely do that. It's probably not going to work for the UK and US because of the amount of costs it might be for shipping. Certainly probably still cheaper than GW, depending on what you're asking for. But I thought maybe might be a way for the 9th Agers and the Age of Sigmar community to kind of interact a bit. Because if you are someone that wants to play 9th, but you also intend on buying repackaged kits or new models from Games Workshop, you're going to have round bases. And you're going to want square bases. I have a ton of square bases, and I want round bases. So maybe we could kind of do a little exchange. Over the last 18 years or so in the hobby, these are my square bases that I've accumulated. Some larger ones. Chariot bases, a lot of 40 and 50 millimeter. Got cavalry bases. I got tons of 28 millimeter. Quite a bit of 32 millimeter. Like I said, a few of them have a coat of paint on them or something like that, but pretty easy to kind of use. And as I rebase models, I'll get more. So maybe we can kind of, I don't want to do it unit for unit necessarily, but if you get a bunch of round bases because you bought a complete army or something like that, maybe we can exchange the bases with one another. I don't know. I'm just kind of throwing it out there just as a way to maybe try to work through a problem. I do have quite a bit of rounds because, again, I have a lot of 40K models as well. You know, you get a lot of these back in the day when you used to buy like the individual model, and it would come with usually more than one base in the blister. So I have a bunch of 40mm bases, a lot of 40mm bases, rounds. But 50mm, the thing with Age of Sigmar is that there's not a lot of conformity with like the base sizes even. So even it's not like the same round bases as in 40K necessarily. I'll need I do need some 40mm, but I have more than enough of those. What I need are the slightly larger ones, either 50 or 60mm probably. And I actually just made an order, like I said, from Games Workshop for bases. These are kind of the more Age of Sigmar cavalry base. You can use like the cavalry base in 40K that like Space Marine bikes are on, but I think the wider bases are a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. I have a lot of 28mm slots, so what I'm looking for are 28mm without slots. These will work good for like my White Lions and Swordmasters, like the old heavier models that are designed to use the slot. Most of the modern ranges, though, don't use them. So I don't know. I just kind of throw that out there, just see if anyone has maybe the opposite problem that I do, and you know, maybe we can work something out. So that's it for tonight. Yeah, I'll try to come up with a more exciting video in the next couple days. All right, have a good one. Bye.